Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. Before we get into Kohane's first focus, we need to make a little pit stop at a Toya mixed event, that is, an ode for the pure of heart. This is the first of many wedding-type events. For some reason, Project Sekai really likes wedding themes, and it's not just implied either, these are full-on referenced wedding events. Not really sure what that's about, to be honest, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous for what's in store. An Ode for the Pure of Heart ran on the JP server from May 31st through June 9th, 2021. The featured units for this event are VBS and Wonderland Showtime. Well, I say Wonder Show, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Rui. I like Rui. So, Akito and Toya arrive at this fancy-looking chapel, and to say Akito is peeved would be an understatement. How did they get here? Well, you see, it was just after morning practice for Akito and Toya when Saki called out of the blue. She desperately needs someone to fill in for Tsukasa at his work today. Not at Phoenix Wonderland, no. It's a freelancing job as an extra that he got through some agency. Now, Toya's never acted before, but Tsukasa is crumpled up on the floor by his front door trying to get the strength to go, and Saki is frantically calling everyone she can think of. It has to be a male replacement as well, so Toya is basically the only person she can ask. Toya accepts after hearing Tsukasa struggling on the other line, and Akito looks at him like a bird just pooped on his head. Back in the present, Akito sees Toya off, the latter looking determined to help as much as he can. Off in Rui Land, our favorite inventor is showing Len some parts he uses to make props. Just as he's about to head over to the Sekai to show Len in person, Rui notices the slew of missed calls he has from both Saki and Tsukasa. Tsukasa calls again and explains the situation with Toya, asking if he'd go check on the set and make sure Toya was doing alright. Rui agrees and takes Len with him, as a projection, of course. Once Toya has his costume on and joins up with the other extras, the hall staff begins to explain the order of events. I won't go into it because I don't think it's all that necessary, but all of the extras will be participating in a flash mob, which means singing, dancing, all that jazz. With a choreography that Toya has to learn on the spot, because he didn't know he was doing this until 30 minutes ago. Toya goes off to practice and nearly gets into an altercation with some of the pretentious dance squad members when he overhears the hall staff freaking out. Apparently, the director was in a minor car accident that turned sour and won't be able to make it to the venue in time. At this rate, they'll have to cancel everything. If only there was someone who'd be willing to step in as director. Dun dun dun! It's Rui! Little known fact about Rui Kamishiro, he not only performs in the shows on the Wonder Stage, he also directs them. How convenient. While Toya explains the situation to Rui, the bride and client of this flash mob decides to cancel everything, since the director won't be able to organize the performance. She looks really sad about it as well, watching all the extras leave. Toya steps in and tries to remedy the situation, but what can he do? But there's something Rui can do, no? He offers to step in as director after remembering why he puts on shows at Phoenix Wonderland in the first place. The bride, although worried about the lack of prep time, accepts Rui's offer and the two get to work right away. Rui has more than a few ideas on how to improve their little show. First of all, he doesn't let any of the more condescending extras get under his skin, despite all the whispers. Now he's commanding authority, so that's good. Second, he wants to increase the number of people objecting to the wedding from 1 to 3. Oh yeah, so this flash mob happens after a fake-out objection to the wedding. He chooses 2 people from the group, and of course, Toya. Because why wouldn't he choose Toya? There's a lot of talk about why Rui's making this change, and it all boils down to how the audience reacts. This way, the audience realizes that the objection is a prank right away, and there's no confusion or negative reactions. Okay, next up, they need to assign a dance lead. But one of the more experienced extras gets really fed up with Rui's directing style and storms out of the venue, which means they're down a person. Which could be fine, but nobody's volunteering to be the dance lead, and Rui is floundering a bit for a solution. That's when Toya has an idea. He knows someone who can sing and dance. If they can get him to agree. Oh my god, Toya actually called Akito, and Akito actually showed up! He's set on turning down the invitation though, and Rui only makes it worse by trying to manipulate him into agreeing. Akito really hates this guy, I can tell. It's time for Toya to bring out the big guns in that case, that being puppy dog eyes and a heartfelt speech. It's just some jargon about how weddings are special, once-in-a-lifetime event, and the bride really wanted to put on a show like this because it's important to her, blah blah blah. Okay, it works on Akito, and he begrudgingly agrees to join in on the project. This thing is being taken over by a bunch of high schoolers, oh my god. Now, the real rehearsal can finally begin. They only have an hour and a half, so there's no time to waste. Toya comments on Rui's seriousness and how his silly demeanor fades away when he's directing. Maybe this is the real Rui Kamishiro? Akito looks to be hitting his stride too, easily assisting the other extras. Toya catches Rui thinking and questions him, and the two talk briefly about their motivations and reasoning for walking their current path. While they were trying to convince Akito to join, he told Rui that he understands what it's like to want to go all out for something you believe in. Now, this is the exact reason why Rui hardly had any friends prior to founding Wonderland Showtime. He often pushed his actors too hard, and in the end, they didn't share the same devotion to the craft as he did, and they would leave him. Toya connects this sentiment to his father, but not negatively. All that to say, everyone understands why the others are taking this so seriously. Speaking of taking this seriously, shouldn't they get back to rehearsing? There's 45 minutes to showtime. While Rui talks with Len about refining the finale, An stumbles upon the venue by chance and looks over to see what's going on. She spots Akito outside with one of the extras, who has unfortunately injured themselves with 30 minutes before the curtain drops. If only there was someone who could replace them. Oh, An, you poor, poor thing. Akito shoves a costume at An and drags her over to the changing rooms, not even bothering to explain what's going on. Honestly, it's a good thing An is such a good sport. Everyone is so frazzled that An just agrees to join in, if a bit bewildered. Props to her though, she learned the entire choreography in just under 30 minutes. Now the ceremony can finally begin. How do I even begin to explain this? Okay, so the objection scene goes well. Guy number 1 is a basketball player, so he dribbles a ball around and looks cool to impress the bride. Guy number 2 is really good at origami and presents the bride with a paper bouquet of white roses. And of course, Toya and his angelic voice completely enamor the bride and the crowd. Rui chose these 3 specifically because their talents are all things that the bride likes. So then there's a speech about how the bride only wants the groom despite all of these cool people showing off their cool stunts, and yay! Cue the dance team! A bunch of passers-by notice the commotion, and Rui takes it upon himself to instruct the dancers to involve the crowd, and An happily obliges. Akito does not oblige happily. Then Rui sets off a cannon, courtesy of Len, that rains down flower petals, finishing out the ceremony with a perfect ending. Toya goes to visit everyone the next day at school. Akito looks dead on his feet, but An looks completely fine, laughing and poking fun at Akito as per usual. Toya expresses his gratitude to his teammates for helping him without asking too many questions, and promises to return the favor soon. Akito starts to brush it off, but then realizes he can get free pancakes out of it, so... When Rui comes over to thank everyone as well, he's back to his usual self. He owes them all a favor now, so if they ever need help surpassing any local legends, Rui will be there to lend a hand. Oh, and he tells Toya to open a window before he leaves. Resident troublemakers Rui and Tsukasa race down the hallway, thunderous explosions accompanied by drifting flower petals billowing in the distance. Oh my goodness, what a fun event. I giggled so many times while reading this. As always with the mixed events, I recommend that you give this one a read on your own time. It's not especially plot relevant or anything, but the character interactions are just too good to miss. And, they're really fun. I love seeing the characters interact outside of their units. Especially the Kamiyamas, they're so funny. I hope you had a good time listening to me talk about this event because I really don't think I'm able to do it justice, but I tried my best. Now we finally get to see how Kohane's settling into her new squad with her first focus event, Awakening Beat. I'll see you then.